Welcome, people, back to another episode of Sports and Superheroes. Welcome for the first time. It's your first time checking out the podcast. Greatly appreciate it. I'm getting most messages on my watch. Not taking it out. Yeah. So if you're new to the podcast, this is a podcast where we talk about sports and superhero news in the entertainment of the past week. We tell you news we know, news we love, talk about all the things that we love, the sports and the superheroes. My co-host is the sports guy. Say what's up to everybody. Marcus.
I'm Marcus. Yeah, I'll hold you down on the sports side. A lot has happened in the last week. I'm not going to get to all of it, but I'm going to do my best to hit you what I think is the most important news this past week.
Yep. And I am your superhero guy, Gershon. And we're going to get into it. But before we do, take a second, if you could. We greatly appreciate it. Go hit that subscribe button. It's free. Don't cost you a dime. It's just one click away. Go ahead and
Right
do
there.
it. Right there. Go ahead and click it. You can also check out all our other social medias, TikTok, Instagram, X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it. That's all linked down below in the description. Also, if you want to leave us a voice message, you can do that. It's got to be under a minute and no weird stuff. But we have a voice message link down below. You click that and leave us a voice message about sports, our superheroes, our life stuff, whatever. As long as it's not too weird, we're up for answering it 100%. But with all that out the way, and also hit that like button. Apparently that helps. Oh, and also give us 5 stars on whatever podcast app you're listening to this. If you're just listening to the audio version, what's up, people? If you're listening to the video version, what's up, people? But thank you for doing both things. I just try to have some fun, baby. But yeah, without further ado, let's just jump right into it. Marcus, take it away.
Okay, so we're going to start off the show with the NBA draft lottery that just happened on Wednesday. No, correction, Monday. Today's Wednesday. It happened on Monday. All right, so I'm right now. I'm just going to give you all the teams that was in the lottery and their percentages of being the number one pick. Because if you
quick
ahead.
thing for people that don't know how the lottery works, can you break that down a little bit?
I was just about to.
Okay, because I
was just about to.
CT, we're right on the same page. There we go.
So it is exactly like a lottery. There's ping pong balls in the machine, and it randomly comes up with the teams. Based on your record, you have more ping pong balls than the other. So if you're the worst record in the league, you have more ping pong balls in there, so your chances are higher.
Okay.
And it's just and it just comes up. Unlike the NFL with their draft lottery, it just goes by the worst record. So if you have the worst record, you automatically get the first pick.
Number one. Okay.
Yeah. NBA, they does it differently. They do to prevent from tanking towards the end of the season.
I was just about to ask you that. Yeah.
Send down stars and load management and all that. So the NBA does it does it differently from the NFL. To try to keep towards the end of the season with these teams, these crappy teams, make sure they still playing.
Try to
right. It's not an automatic.
Do you think it's something the NFL would try to implement at one point in time? Because teams tank it towards the end of the season, they really stop playing. But I guess the NFL, their money ain't guaranteed, so those players still be trying to play for incentives and stuff like that, huh?
Right. Yes, because in NFL, their contract. Well, NBA has incentives in their contract, but NFL means a lot more because there's a lot less games in NFL versus the NBA.
Gotcha. So, okay. Yeah. So that balances it out. Okay.
Yes. So, So yeah, okay. Here's the teams that's in it and their percentage of potentially getting a number one pick. The Utah Jazz, Washington Wizards, and Charlotte Hornets all had a 14% chance of getting a number one pick.
Okay.
Um, and then you had the New Orleans Pelicans with a 12.5% chance. Philadelphia had a 10.5% chance. Uh, Brooklyn Nets had a 9% chance. Toronto Raptors had a 7.5%. San Antonio Spurs had a 6%. Phoenix Suns had a 3.8%, which I think was the most one of the most disappointing teams in the draft lottery.
Mm.
Uh, the Portland Trail Blazers had 3.7%. The Dallas Mavericks, which is another disappointing team that's in the draft lottery, but after the Luka trade, and all the injuries they had in the second half of the season, they played horrible. But Dallas Mavericks had a 1.8% chance to get a number one pick. The Chicago Bulls, I know we won't speak on them, 1.7% chance. Sacramento Kings had a 0.8% chance, and Atlanta Hawks had a 0.7% chance. So, so yeah, but look at these percentages, you would think Utah, Washington, Charlotte, New Orleans, or Philadelphia, because they had a 10% chance or higher of getting a number one pick. So
Yeah.
I'm not a better man, but with those odds, I would pick one. If I was a better man, I would have bet on one of those teams getting the number one pick. But that's not quite how it went, though.
Mm.
So I'm gonna tell you the order of the picks from the bottom to the top.
Okay.
Okay. Now, oh, so okay. Something I forgot to mention: the Atlanta Hawks that had a 0.7% chance. Their pick goes to the San Antonio Spurs because, if I remember correctly, they trade from DeJounte Murray, played for the Spurs, got traded to Atlanta Hawks. So
Um.
the Atlanta Hawk pick went to the San Antonio Spurs.
Okay.
Okay. So San Antonio Spurs is picking number 14. The Atlanta Hawks are picking number 13. The Chicago Bulls picking number 12. I feel like Chicago's been around that number like the last 5 years. They've been around 12 or 10. Uh, Portland Trail Blazers are picking number 11. The Houston Rockets, which was a playoff team and played pretty well, they're picking number 10. The reason why Houston is in the top 10 or in the lottery, even though they made the playoffs, uh, they got the Phoenix Suns pick to Houston via Brooklyn.
Uh.
So
Okay.
it was a trade. I don't remember what trade it was, but they essentially got the Phoenix Suns pick, the Houston Rockets.
Okay, that makes
Uh,
sense.
Toronto Raptors are number 9. Brooklyn Nets 8. New Orleans Pelicans number 7. Washington Wizards 6. Utah Jazz 5. And Charlotte Hornets 4. Now those are the three teams that had the highest percentage. Those are the three
Mm.
teams that had a 14% chance of getting a number one pick. And
Okay.
there are 4, 5, and 6. So you have Philadelphia, who had a 10.5% chance of getting number one pick. They're picking number 3. So then that just leaves the Dallas Mavericks, who had a 1.8% chance of getting a number one pick, and the San Antonio Spurs, which had a 6% chance. Now, this lottery is big because I mean, it's pretty, everyone knows Cooper Flag is going to go number one.
Yeah.
So, so I'm sitting here and I'm watching this. I'm like, oh, of course, right between they get in top 3 or top 2 picks, they go to commercial. So I'm like, oh shit. What? Oh, if Cooper Flag goes to San Antonio, that'd be crazy. I like because you know what when Wemby and then Darren Fox and Castle, the young talent they have down there. Like, oh, that's crazy, right? Come back. San Antonio Spurs got the number 2 pick, which means Dallas Mavericks with the 1.8% chance got the number 1 pick,
Yeah.
which was a shocker to everybody. So big of a shock that people are calling it rigged because
Yeah.
they just traded Luca. I've heard all types of theories because they just traded Luca and then they turn around and get the following number 1 pick. I also, this one is funny to me. That like Dallas Mavericks always have a. I don't necessarily agree with this. I thought this was funny. They're like uh, Dallas Mavericks always seems to have a white superstar, and then somebody said system because it's been Europeans lately. I mean, the last one, well, the last two was Luca, and then the
Yeah.
one before that was Nowitzki. And so I was like, well,
Oh yeah.
somebody said the terrorists are hitting hard, so they had to get a local one.
A
They had to get
local
an
white
American,
superstar.
right? So I thought that was funny,
That's funny. That's funny.
but yeah, it was a complete shock to everyone that the Dallas Mavericks got their number 1 pick.
Yeah.
So maybe they draft Cooper Flag. Maybe the fans won't be so upset.
So upset.
Uh,
Yeah.
I mean, because I mean, with a healthy team, granted that Kyrie is going to miss most of the season with his ACL injury.
Yeah.
He's not going to be there at the beginning of the season. I don't think so. I mean, Cooper Flag, AD, Clay, Lively,
Oh yeah,
PJ
they do got
Washington,
Clay.
Gafford. I mean, they can be maybe they hold be okay. I mean, Dallas they have a bright future. I mean, Cooper Flag, I think he's going to be a good player. I hope he turns out to be a pretty good player. Uh, Congratulations to Dallas. I mean, I would much rather seen him in San Antonio because that would have been crazy with Flag and Wemby.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, shout out to them. And the NBA draft is actually coming up soon. It is Monday, May 12th, and it will be on ESPN at 7 p.m. Eastern. And it will be held. I mean, this is not important. I just got to say this part. It will be held in the greatest city in the world, Chicago. Y'all can fight me in the comments if you want.
Oh, you
So,
mean June 12th?
no, May.
Because it's May
Wait, no,
now and
no,
it's the
no, no,
14th.
no. It's May. Yeah, you're right. I think somebody gave me the wrong. It's
I was
gave
like,
me the wrong
that's 2 days
information.
ago.
Oh, the draft lottery was the 12th.
Okay.
Uh,
I was like, yeah, that's 2 days ago, sir.
yeah, my bad. So I saw you looked at your watch. I'm like, what's looking at his watch for? No, the draft lottery was June 12th.
Was
The
May
actual
12th. Okay.
the actual NBA draft is give me a
Doesn't that
second.
happen after the finals?
Yeah,
Or
it's
does that?
usually uh come on man. When is the NBA draft? No. Yeah,
Yeah, I would
2000. Oh,
assume it would be like
It's
June.
June 25th,
Okay.
26.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Uh,
So with the Mavs getting number one, do you do you believe they will get Cooper, or would they use that to trade for some other picks? Because
that's
I
funny.
heard
Oh, wait,
something.
wait.
I
No, it's funny you bring that up. 'Cause I was like, am I going to fit this other story into this story or should I wait? Okay, so here's the deal. We're gonna I'm gonna come back to that question, but the story I'm about to tell kind of ties in with that.
okay.
So with that being said, and with that question being asked, Giannis came out on Monday as well, and he was like he's open minded about exploring whether his best long term fit is remaining in Milwaukee or playing somewhere else.
Okay. Okay.
And here's the thing: the Bucks uh, can't really improve anytime soon because the the Bucks do not have control of any of their own draft picks until 2031. So
Jesus, that's so
the
long.
the draft is usually when you like build up and make your team better,
Exactly.
but they don't have any draft picks, so they stuck. Like they can't really get better, unless they're gonna have to make some trades. The only way they get better is make trades, and
Yeah.
that could be costly because like when
How
you draft, you
many
could.
how many rounds is it for NBA? Is it
It's
like the
not like
NFL where it's like
oh
seven?
God, no. Because see,
Okay.
the NFL roster is so. I think what NFL team roster is like 52. I think
Yeah. Okay.
so. No, it's like it's 2 days. Yeah, the draft, the NBA draft is not that long.
Okay.
Yeah. So then when Giannis came out and said that, and then with Dallas getting the number one pick, it's like people were saying, well, should Dallas trade the number one pick to try to get Giannis and put them in a win right now mode? The thing is, to get a player like Giannis, you're going to have to give up a lot. Milwaukee is just not going to let him go for cheap. He's a
Yeah, they're not just
superstar.
gonna go for like first round pick and
So you got,
like a
I'm
couple
thinking,
bench players.
yeah, like a first round pick, which will be, I think it's safe to say, Cooper Flag, uh, probably PJ Washington, like either Daniel Grafford or Lively. Those two will definitely have to be in there.
Mm.
Those three, maybe like a draft pick and maybe one other player. Like it's going to have to be like a pretty good package because Giannis is a superstar.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's going to kind of get your team right.
Yeah.
I mean, so then you have to find some other role players to fill in those spots. So, but then like for Dallas, okay, you want to win now, but Kyrie, Giannis, and AD, basketball wise, they're older, and
Yeah.
Cooper
You get
Flag
what,
would be,
5 years?
yeah, if that, and then you got the Kyrie's come off an injury, and then Cooper
Mm.
Cooper Flag is for the future.
Yeah. That's a
That's
that's
what
a
the
easily if he even just becomes a star, not even a superstar, if he just become a star, that's a good 10 years for you. Him being just a star, 10 years, that's a good amount of time for your franchise to either build around him or build pieces to help him. Um, yeah, that
and
is
then
they definitely have stuff to think about.
I mean, and then the other thing is, so like Houston, they're a young team. Like, do they make a trade for Giannis? I mean, granted, they have a lot of young talent, but
Um,
they go out. I mean, I'm sure they don't mind getting up Jalen Green because that boy is not consistent at all.
yeah,
So you have to give up some no young players, and then they have some draft picks as well as Houston. Then I saw like Brooklyn and Miami could could make a trade, but they don't have stars. They might have the
mm,
money, but they don't have like really assets or stars. And then it's
gotcha.
like if Giannis get traded to Brooklyn or Miami, it's like you might as well just stay in Miami because you're still in the same situation. You're not going to win right now because
Yeah,
all three of them teams is poop. But I would say the one team that I don't think Giannis will get traded, but if there's one team that could make that trade happen, and I don't think they will because they have a young team, they have a young nucleus, and they're playing well. Be the Oklahoma City Thunder because they got a
oh,
lot. They got a lot of draft picks. Like they've been
oh, do they?
they've been stacking those draft picks for
Oh
years.
yeah, because they got I seen some graph. They got a whole bunch of draft picks and their main baller right now, I forget his name, how you say his name with the Braves.
SGA, SGA.
SGA. So they got him and a whole bunch of draft picks for Paul George.
Yeah, yeah. They traded
So
Paul George.
like
Yeah,
yeah, and they got a whole bunch of draft picks and SGA. So they got a superstar in the making and a whole bunch of draft picks to get some stars to help him. Like they clearly coming out on that deal right now.
uh, and OKC they built their team through the draft. Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't say. Well, SGA got traded there from the
Yeah.
Clippers. He was a part of that Paul George trade. So he got traded there,
Dang.
but everybody else on the team with the Social Caruso who just got traded there, like they built well for the most part they built their team through the draft. So like if it was to happen, I think it would be OKC.
Okay.
But again, you go have to give up some players. I mean, they have a lot of young
Yeah.
talent. Like Chet Holmgren would
So
definitely be in it. They will not.
yeah.
They're not giving up SGA. That
Yeah, you're not
that's
giving
not.
him up.
That's,
That's
so
your new superstar. Yeah, that would be stupid.
yeah.
Do you think the
So
Clippers feel
no.
stupid now?
I'll trade the SGA for Paul George.
Yeah, because you
Mm,
think because
yeah,
you think they would have got knocked out if they had him.
that's hard to tell. Okay,
Okay.
okay, okay. I don't know because after that trade, the Clippers team changed so much. Because they
Yeah.
got Paul George, they end up getting James Harden, and they got Kawhi Leonard. So Paul George is gone. So SGA with Kawhi, that's a that's potential deadly 1-2 punch
Yeah.
there. But
Yeah.
at the same time, it's one of those situations that would have SGA develop into the player he is now if he stayed with with
I was just
the
about to say
Clippers.
that. Yeah. Yeah.
Because for those of you who don't know, in the early days in OKC, Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and James Harden all played on the same team.
Yep.
And with Serge Ibaka, and they made it to the NBA Finals as a
Yeah.
young team and lost to the LeBron D Wade Miami Heat. And then OKC had to decide who they was going to pay. Serge Ibaka, which was their center, a big man, a shot block, rim protector, rebounder, and mid range, or playing James Harden, their sixth man who can score really well. And then OKC was like, well, we have Kevin Durant, who's a really good scorer, and we have Russell Westbrook, who can score. So they paid Serge Ibaka, traded James Harden to the Houston Rockets, and then in Houston, James Harden becomes a superstar.
Yeah.
So it's like if James Harden stayed in OKC, James Harden would have developed into the player he is today.
Exactly.
It's very hard to call. Like you need to be able to see in the future to know if those players will still develop.
Yeah.
Because when you're playing like with a lot of talent and you're not the man, like you know, your game doesn't. It depends on the person, but typically your game doesn't
Yeah,
develop
you
because
don't get to develop like the way you wanted to or
right,
needed to
right,
get to that next level. So yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. Makes sense. Makes sense.
but yeah.
Okay.
That's NBA draft. Did I answer your question?
Yeah. What was my question?
Yes, yeah. Oh, you just asked about Dallas and trading number one pick. Yes, I
Oh
did
yeah,
answer.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You answered that and added other stuff to it too. So yeah, you definitely answered that. Yeah, that's a crazy way of hearts changing and people changing and figuring out who's gonna go what where. But talking about going what where, what when, how. Marvel finally did it. They finally heard us talking about not having the trailer, and they put out a trailer for Ironheart. Of course, before they put out the trailer for Ironheart, they put out a little featurette with Ryan Coogler because he's an executive producer of the show. So of course they put him front and center to talk about Ironheart the day before the trailer came out. And I love Ryan Coogler, But this felt real scripted. This didn't feel like just him. This felt real scripted because he got a certain way he talk, and
Yeah.
I didn't feel that when he was talking. It didn't feel like that. So I was already a little upset about that. But the featurette just talked about how this is a story he knew about as a kid, and how he came to comic books, and how he gravitated to Ironheart character. He didn't say that was his favorite character or anything like that. He said X-Men was his favorite, and he loved the spin-offs of X-Men comic books. But he also liked Ironheart and how she became her own hero in her own way and all that good stuff. And they gave you a little couple trinkets of the show. Um, and then the next day they dropped the trailer. So I watched the trailer. It is it's it's a lot of us. It has the essence of us in there, so you can feel that. It's a underdog kind of story, where your main character seems to get caught up on the wrong side and then has to battle their way back, which is a cool story. It's easy story to do. We always do it. The only issue I have with that, this character's already been introduced and already done amazing things in a movie. So why are we backtracking in a series story? I wish they wouldn't have done that. I wish we are moving forward to where she's not at Wakanda. This is after Wakanda, and we know Wakanda took his tech from her, so she couldn't have the Wakanda tech, so she had to build her own stuff. But we already knew she was a genius. She showed that. Why are we in this place where she's not being already sought after by other scientists and stuff like that within the Marvel universe to help them put stuff together? We know we have Iron Man that's gone. Why is Rhodey with her helping build new Iron Man suits to protect the world and stuff like that? That's my only downfall about the trailer. It still looks interesting. I'm still interested to see the journey they take with it and where they go with it. I I just feel like they might have took the wrong note of where they're going with it and making this kind of a downtrodden hero have to rise up again kind of thing, which makes no sense for what she's already done in this timeline. Um, it does seem like it's not a multi-dimension story, so that's a plus because I know people are getting tired of those. So it's a set story in a set place. The other characters, I think the Hood is in this. Not gonna lie to you, I don't know much about the Hood, their comics origin and all that. I have to read up on that myself, so that's something to learn. But a lot of actors that are in this seem pretty good actors, interesting on camera. The CGI looks pretty decent, even though it's a trailer. Looks decent. We see a lot of her in the suit, a lot of flying. So that's gonna be CGI heavy. The suit doesn't look comics accurate. I don't know if they're gonna get to a comics accurate suit at one point in time. If they do, it most likely be the last episode because that's how these series work. But this one seems more light and fun, which is what you want in a Disney Marvel show. You want light and fun, but progress the story, progress the universe, touch on other stuff that happened within the universe, but still keep moving forward. So, like, I need somebody to talk about Thunderbolts during this thing because Thunderbolts just came out. We need a timeline to kind of link stuff together. And that's another thing. I think she's in New York. If she's in New York, there's so much stuff going on in New York. And if they don't mention any of this other stuff, that's gonna be crazy. 100% gonna be crazy. But it looks interesting. Um, I'm gonna watch it because I want to support the show because it's a black show. I don't want to say it's a black show, but it's a show predominantly with black characters, and I want to make sure they see that we want to see ourselves. So I'm going to support the show. Debating if I'm gonna do like side reviews for the show and not necessarily on the podcast, like I did with Daredevil. I might do like just by myself reviews of the show. Debating on the hits in the comments down below if you want me to do that. Just to one, we can have another piece of content, but two, try to get it off the podcast because it get long winded when we do episode reviews of stuff. Movie reviews is different, but episode reviews get long. But ultimately, the trailer looked good. It felt interesting. It made me more excited to see it. Just it just sucks that it took them so long to do a trailer. It is coming out June. Dang it! I know I had it wrote down. I think it's June 20. Hold on. I'm looking. Premiere. Why don't they have the premiere date? They don't have it up here.
So why are you looking up the date, the premiere date? The Hood he's a super villain um, that was appearing in comic books uh, published by Marvel Comics, obviously.
Okay.
The character was introduced in his own self-titled limited series, which started with Hood #1 in July of 2002. So that's
Okay. Does it say what his superpowers are? Because I know he's, I think magical. He's got magical powers. Um, but he also has guns. So I think he's. I don't
such
know if
as
he.
this like levitation and invisibility.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, because he has that hood. That I think that hood is a magical thing, or it might be magic tech kind of thing. Okay, that makes sense. Um, but it comes out June 24th. So it's gonna premiere June 24th. I'm going to be watching it. There also one of the persons in the cast, his name is Mephisto. So I don't know if that's the actual Mephisto within Marvel because we've been looking for this guy in Marvel for the last like 5 6 years. And if you don't know, Mephisto is Marvel's kind of devil to an extent. He's a super powerful character, but a magic based character that is really tied to Wanda. To put him in this is weird. This being you've had two different magical Marvel shows, and this is the one you decide to put him in. If you guys do that, that's crazy, but interesting. If you guys gonna do that, but yeah, he it could have been a red herring, something to throw you off though. But overall, the trailer looked good. Um, like I said, you got to feel what the story might be. Eventually, she's supposed to get with another person that I don't know this character. I think it's a new character for this show that's gonna help her get back on the right track, I guess. So I'm be interested to see this story, see it play out. Hopefully, it's good and entertaining. I'm giving hopes to it. Uh, I will finish it out because I want to support it all the way through. But if it's bad, I'm gonna tell you guys the truth. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I'm not gonna be just sugarcoated. I'm gonna give you the gritty. If it's bad, I'll be like, hey, this is not great. Um, I want them to do better. So you got to tell them the truth when they mess up. It's just what it is. But yeah, looking forward to it. June 24th. Let me know in the comments if you guys want me to do reviews for the show separate, or you just want to keep them on here on the podcast. Either way, I would do whichever you guys are up to doing. But yeah, Marcus, do you know who Ironheart is?
I was going to ask about it. Sounds like it's
Okay,
playoff of Iron Man. I
so
guess is it?
yes. So I guess it happened. Um, it was a span where they were trying to reinvent older heroes for the newer generation. So they were kind of passing down a torch. So like Miles Morales, um, uh, uh, dang, what is his name? There's another guy that became the Hulk in a different form. Um, Kate Bishop. Um, who else? There's one more person. Iron Lad. They were like the next versions of like Iron Man, Captain America, Hawkeye. Um, oh, what is the Wanda's kid is one of them too. Oh, I forget his name. Ah, it's gonna come to me, and that's gonna piss me off. But they were the next versions of these kind of characters, and Ironheart was the next version of Iron Man to an extent. She wasn't supposed to be like directly tied to him and get the mantle pass, but she was a kid that built her own Iron Man suit. And at a certain point, Tony dies in the comic books, but then his AI is put into her suit, so they have like a relationship, and he helps her along the way of building her Iron Man suit and stuff like that, and they have a friendship and all that. Um, the comic books did okay. People were really upset with her name, Riri, because it too close to that bad word we don't say anymore. Um, so they criticized that. And then of course she's a girl, a black girl as well. So they criticized that, and that sucked. And I get it, but it was a totally different character. It wasn't trying to take over for Iron Man. Shit, Tony was in her comic books too. So you clearly can't take over for somebody if they're in there with you. But she didn't get the best welcome into the Marvel MCU. So her book ran for a bit. I do believe it got canceled. Um, not, I don't think it ran too long, but a decent amount of time. But like I said, she was introduced into the MCU in Wakanda Forever. Um, she was introduced there. She made her own suit there. And only thing, well, I guess she wouldn't have time to talk to Iron Man. But I hope in this show at some point she gets Iron Man tech or something of it to add to her suit. And if they could get a little closer to the comic books of her origins and flow into that where Iron Man, Tony Stark's AI, just a voice would be cool. That would be cool. But most of her tech is from Wakanda. Well, she has junkyard tech and then Wakanda tech. So she's really smart though. She's a great engineer, can do all that. I don't think she's like one of the smartest people in the MCUs, but she's definitely in the top 30. Let's say that top 30, top 25. Apparently, one of the smartest people in the Marvel Cinematic Universe is Moon Girl. It's a black little girl who is supposed to be genius level, like genius level, and people hate that that's true and try to act like it doesn't exist, but it does. Moon Girl is one of the smartest characters in Marvel Cinematic comic book period. So deal with that. But yeah, she's a good character. She's an interesting character. We'll have to see June 24th how they do it. I like her introduction, so looking forward to her series. Hopefully, it's more fun than just painting by colors. So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, let us know if you're interested in Ironheart series. Are you excited for it? Is this one of the series you were excited for? Because it's one of the series I was excited for when they announced it. But it's been a long wait, but we're finally going to get it and see how it is.
All right. So I'm going to get away from basketball just a little bit because I thought this was some pretty big news here.
Okay.
The commissioner of baseball. This is pretty big. Reinstated Pete Rose and Shoeless Joe Jackson, lifting their lifetime bans for gambling violations. I say
Uh,
this. I say this is big news, but truth is, the only reason why he lifts their bans because of RIP. They both passed away, so that's the
okay. That
only
makes
reason.
more
But
sense.
yeah, uh, by lifting the ban, it makes them eligible for the Hall of Fame, but it's not guaranteed they'll be in. I mean, once I read you Pete Rose's numbers, it's like he definitely should be in. But baseball, baseball is also a weird sport, and they have a lot of unwritten rules. They're
Yes, they
very old
do.
school. They need to get with the times. Uh,
They're
So,
very, very much old school.
but yeah, the commercial said the change led up, stating bands conspired upon both of their deaths. Uh, uh, I couldn't. So, Shoeless Joe Jackson. I didn't find a whole lot. I'm just going to talk about him a little bit before I get to Pete Rose and all his stats and
Hmm.
why I think he should just automatically be in the Hall of Fame. But Shoeless Joe Jackson played for the at that time was called the Chicago Black Sox. Actually, I wish they would bring that name back and call them Chicago Black Sox again instead of Chicago White Sox. That's just me though. That's my personal preference. But Shoeless Joe Jackson was three a 356 career hitter, and he was among of eight people, eight players from the Chicago Black Sox that got banned because they
Jesus,
threw the
eight.
they well, you got listen to what they did. They threw the 1919 World Series because
Oh
they're
wow, I didn't know they did that. I thought they just gambled on like a couple games, not the
no,
World Series.
yeah. They got up on the World Series. They lost the World Series on purpose in 1919. So
Ooh.
I mean Shoeless Joe Jackson was an outfielder with a high batting average that was banned for life due to the Chicago Black Sox scandals. Uh, yeah, his banishment and exclusion from the Hall of Fame was long debated, but yes, I imagine Shoeless Jackson passed away a long time ago because if he threw the
Yeah,
1919 World Series, he just getting reinstated in 2025. That's crazy. But
yeah.
yeah, but yeah, that's crazy. 18, eight. How many people are on the field? Like
So
when you're
there's
so the catcher, the pitcher,
three,
first, second,
four,
third, shortstop, and the
five,
three.
six.
That's the whole team.
That's pretty much the whole team. I think
God,
there's like a um maybe 20-man roster,
yeah, but that's
20 to 15.
what
Yeah,
they
that's
said. They
your
said eight
whole.
players. So
Yeah.
imagine your whole team
So
when you're on
imagine you're the
defense.
one guy that's not in on it. It's like, what are we doing, guys? Why are we losing?
Oh, y'all making money on the side? Y'all didn't tell me.
Ain't
They didn't
nobody tell me.
I'm like, bro. I would
Oh,
imagine
dang.
I would have to imagine one of the players that's in on that would have to be a pitcher or two. It would
Yeah.
have to be. You
Yeah.
got to get the pitcher. You can't. Yeah, but yeah, that's But as far as Pete Rose and why I think he should make the Hall of Fame, yes, he got caught from gambling on baseball. He betted on games that they played in, but if I remember correctly, he always betted on his teams to win. Don't
Yeah.
quote
I'll be, yeah.
actually don't quote me on that. I think that's what happened,
Okay.
but don't quote me on that. I mean, just edit that part out. I don't even know it because I don't know that's for sure. I can't should be just throwing out information that I'm not 100% sure on.
So we might not be, that might not be correct. Look that up,
Yeah.
but look that up.
But okay, so here's Pete Rose stats. He's a 17-time All Star during his player career from 1963 to 1986. He holds records for hits, 4,256. Games, 3,562. At bats, 14,053. Plate appearances, 15,890. Singles, 3,215. He was the 1963 National League Rookie of the Year, the 1973 MVP, and the 1975 World Series MVP. He was a three-time National League batting champion. He broke the previous hit record of 4,191 set by Ty Cobb from 1905 to 1928. So just over Pete Rose stats alone, he's a Hall of
Yeah.
Fame.
Yeah. He
Uh,
put them numbers up.
but Well, honestly, I still don't think neither one of them was going to get in. And if they do, especially Pete Rose, I don't think it's going to be till like way further down the line.
Yeah,
Probably like probably like 2050 or something like that.
yeah, yeah. Because
Because
guys gonna be
also,
like, oh, they shouldn't
because
be
like
in, still
Barry,
fighting.
I think Barry Bonds should be in the Hall of Fame because
Yeah,
because everybody they talk about the steroid era. I'm like, well, here's the thing. He wasn't the only one taking steroids. Roger
he
Clemens was
wasn't.
taking steroids as well. Also, the steroids doesn't help your hand-eye coordination. For
It
one,
doesn't. It just gives you
two,
power.
he had Hall of Fame numbers before the steroid era. Barry Bonds was doing it even before that. And actually, the steroid era, that summer that made baseball fun. Like I remember that. Like I living in Chicago, you had Sammy Sosa going for the record, Mark McGwire, Barry Bonds. Like
Yeah.
that's like that summer of that. That's the only time I cared about baseball because baseball was exciting. Like
Didn't Sammy
base,
take steroids too?
yes, Sammy, Mark McGwire, Barry Bonds, Jose Canseco was just snitching on everybody. Anybody he could tell on, he was snitching on.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
forgot he was
Roger
out there
Clemens.
snitching like
So
that.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
He's
I
told on
yeah, but
everybody.
yeah, I like I said, I think Pete Rose should make it. But that's some other news that's besides basketball.
Okay, okay, that's good. That's good. I mean, yeah, it was a crazy time back in those days. But speaking about back in the days, we got a first little sneak peek of Spider-Man Noir, which takes place, I believe, in the 50s. I thought it was the 20s, but I'm pretty sure it's the 50s. I could be wrong. Let me look this up a little bit. I thought it was the 20s at one point, but I think it's the 50s. Um, but we did get our first trailer for Spider-Man Noir, and it wasn't a long trailer. It was 30 seconds. Um, if you don't know the Spider-Man Noir, it's a variant of Spider-Man. It's a Spider-Man that's in the 50s. We're gonna just stick with the 50s. I'm pretty sure it is. He gets bit. He's an older gentleman. He's still Peter Parker, but he's the older Peter Parker. But it was set around kind of the detective noir kind of look of that time of the 50s, where guys were like when they would have those narrators out, they walk down alley talking about, yeah, another day and night of this rough town, and I'm just trying to make it through the day. And he was also in Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. No, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. And of course, Nick Cage voiced him in that, and Nick Cage reprised his role in this as well. Like I said, it was only a 30-second clip, so you don't get a lot of stuff. They gave you a little bit of look at Spider-Man, a little bit of look of what I believe the show is going to look like. So if you ever seen Sin City, that movie, the show is going to have that kind of vibe. It looks like. So it looks like it's going to be in black and white, or at times be in black and white, which is not too bad. They had Lamorne voice as a voiceover because he's supposed to be in the show. So I don't know who the character he's gonna play in the show, or if he's gonna always be the narrator, which that would be kind of cool. He sounded cool when he was narrating, but basically he becomes Spider-Man. Nick Cage becomes Spider-Man, and he's kind of seemed like he is resistant to be the hero, but then becomes the hero the city needs. Because in the trailer, they go like, "This city's going to shit. We need a hero." He's like, "Good luck finding that." So at a certain point, he's like, "No, it's not my responsibility." So clearly something happens to him because like all Spider-Man, there's a what they call it, a dang it, I forgot what they called it in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. A chaos event that ties all Spider-Mans together. Like all of them lose their Uncle Ben, and all of them lose their best friend, and that ties them all together as Spider-Man. Which is sad, but part of a hero's journey as well. Um, so we got that trailer. So it's gonna be on Prime Video. It's not necessarily a Sony thing, and it's not necessarily a Marvel thing because Marvel doesn't own Spider-Man. Sony owns Spider-Man. Marvel and Sony work together to bring Spider-Man into the MCU, but Sony still owns Spider-Man. So they can still do whatever they want with the Spider-Man and Spider-Man characters within that universe. That's why that's why all the Sony movies aren't Marvels, like Craven, um, Venom, Morbius. Those are all Sony Marvel movies because those are all Spider-Man characters, and Sony owns them. So Sony shopped this around, I guess, and they're going to Prime Video, which is gonna be a little weird to watch a Spider-Man thing on Prime, but I'm be there for it. But we still have a ways to go because it doesn't come out until 2026. So this was just like a clip show of what's going on. I know they had leaked footage of Spider-Man Noir in his suit and everything. So I figured that. So it seems like they were like, let's put a little clip together so people can see it, see what we're working with, and see how people are excited for this or not excited for this, and something that we should look forward to continuing or look forward to kind of get those episodes out so we can move on because people might not watch it. I'm gonna watch it because I like Spider-Man. Depending on how they do this, we know how old Nick Cage is, so it's gonna be weird to see him being able to jump around like that. So we gotta just have disbelief that this is not a. I think Nick Cage is what, like 60. I think Nick Cage is 60 years old. So we have to have disbelief that he's going to be jumping around in this suit like this man. So yeah, he's 61. That
Yeah,
he's not going to
because
jump around, but
he's a superhero. He can still jump around. He has
yeah, but
superpowers.
you seen it when we saw Nick Fury, who is Samuel Jackson. That's an
Yes.
old man playing this supposed to be agile agent. He barely moving, so it's hard to play it. But yeah, on top of that, we also got some information about Jeremy Ritter's issue with being offered less. So I guess the production company or the studio behind who's ever was going to make Hawkeye season 2 said they intentionally offered him less to not necessarily make more episodes of the show. Yes, I'll say it again. They intentionally offered him less money to make him not take the job to not make the show so they can say it was him not wanting to make the show, not us, which is wild to do. Wild to do. Even wilder to say it after you got called out about offering him less money to come out and say, yeah, we intentionally did that. I don't know what they were thinking, how that would go over, but I guess they
Isn't
thought,
it?
hey, people be upset for a little bit.
Isn't the show successful? The first season was it successful?
I think it did okay. It didn't do the numbers they wanted to do, probably, but it did okay. A lot of the Disney Plus shows haven't really done great. Only one that's done great were Wanda Vision show did great. Um, Hawkeye, I think Hawkeye was like the fourth best one ratings wise.
Mhm.
Um, the Agatha All the Way did decent. It did decent. Even Winter Soldier didn't do. I mean, no, Falcon Winter Soldier didn't do great. I think that was like second or third. The biggest show, honestly, was Loki. Loki is the biggest show out of the shows, and that's saying a lot because at first Loki was a retread of the movies, him being bad and going good again. The second Loki expanded on the series a little bit, was a little bit
Mhm.
better. But then they had Jonathan Majors, who I think really elevated that second season. He did an amazing job in that second season. It gave me a lot more hope for that show. Oh, was he in the first season? No, he was in the second season. He was the end of the first season, and then a lot of the beginning of the second season. Um, but that one's the biggest show out of all the other Disney Plus shows, I believe. So they're not really hitting as hard as they wanted them to be or what they thought they would be. So I can see them kind of pulling away from them a little bit, which is unfortunate because well, it's a good and a bad because it's a way to tell smaller stories with other characters that don't give enough screen time in the movies. It's just that I think they did too many too fast, and they should have paced them out a little better. Because you used to get 2 Marvel movies a year. Now you get almost 3 Marvel movies and 4 TV shows in a year. That's a lot. At one point, I think we had 4 Marvel movies in a year and almost 3 to 4 different shows in that same year. So that's a lot of Marvel and a lot of superhero stuff people are getting burned out on.
Well, do you think because with this streaming age that we live in now, people tend to binge watch. So they just constantly put it out because they always want to have something out there for people to watch. So you binge watch this show, then you have something else to watch, and it keep you busy for a little bit. You think that's the
So yes. So there's two things with that. There's that whole churn. People are buy our streaming service and have it for a month to try to binge a show.
Mhm.
And once that show's over, they cut it off. So Marvel started to layer their stuff to where the episode of that show would end right when another season of some other show you might want to watch it come in. So you would have to keep that for another month to watch that show. So they were trying to effectively stop people from churning, cutting off the service to cut it back on just to watch a show in 3 or 4 weeks and then cutting it back off. Second thing is people stopped feeling like movies had to be seen in movie theaters. People
I'm one of them
start
people.
buying.
I'm one
people,
of them people.
people started buying very elaborate theater setups in their homes and started to get used to waiting for the movies to come out on video or digital, especially with the pandemic. They got used to waiting at home. So now it's getting to the point where they have to make it an event for people to go to the theaters. Just like Sinners was an event. That was an event in time for people to go see that movie. Barbie, Oppenheimer, those were events. So those are the movies that are starting you see are doing well in the theaters when the studio makes it an event not to be missed with the public. Like that whole shared experience of watching a movie together is a thing. It's 100% a thing, but it's a thing we let go of during the pandemic when we realized we couldn't do that with other people.
I mean
So they
that works for something that doesn't move me. I always the,
understandable.
the only reason why I went to go see Sinners in a movie theater is because I wanted to support a black film, and just the sheer
Okay.
disrespect and the backhand compliments it kept getting online. Like, you know what? I don't do this, but I'm gonna go to the movie theater to watch this movie. Like Black Panther. That
Understandable.
was that was another
Understandable.
movie. I actually saw that movie in theaters twice. Like
Oh,
that's the first time I've ever seen a movie in theaters twice. Like, because I
I
wanted to support.
seen
Other than that, like, I
Black
can wait.
Panther. I seen Black Panther 4 times in the theaters.
Yeah.
That's the first time I ever did that. Like I seen it 2 times. I seen it first on the opening day. Then I went with my cousin and seen it. Then I went by myself and seen it. And then I went with my son and seen it. So like, yeah, I seen that thing. Whoo, whoo. And now we just watch it mostly all the time at home on
Eh,
DVD.
You know what's crazy? I've never seen Black Panther 2. I've never
What?
seen it.
Oh, Black Panther 2. Okay, that's understandable. That one's very sad. It's very sad at the beginning, sad during the middle, and then sad at the end. so I can understand. It's not a great movie, but under the circumstances of what happened, what they had to deal with, and the story they gave you, I think they did a really good job with the movie, honestly. Um, ooh, maybe we'll do. I think we should try to do like a live watch of either a sports movie or a superhero movie one of these days. Down the road, we'll do it down the road when we figure out how to do live stuff and things like that. But yeah, we're working on that. We're working on that. So I think that's a cool idea. As we grow, and y'all show more love to us and subscribe and all that good stuff. But yeah, like I said, that is one of Disney's kind of crutches is they started to put out so much content. They had so many shows that they say what they were gonna do that they canceled. They had like 8 to 7 shows that they were gonna do that they canceled and slowly stopped doing. Unfortunately, a few of those shows were more ethnic characters, so people were a little upset about that. Rightfully so. I get why they were upset about that, but they were canceling multiple shows, not just the ethnic shows, but it did feel that way a little bit. So Disney was like, "Hey, we got to make sure we put these shows on so people know we're not just singling out these characters." So that's why we are getting the Ironheart show. I don't know what's gonna happen with Iron Wars because we were supposed to get that. That was supposed to be Rhodey's show slash it became a movie. Now I'm not sure where it is. So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, let us know. Are you excited for the Spider Noir show? Are you interested in it? Do you think it's going to be good, bad? Let us know in the comments. Also, let us know in the comments what do you think about Disney Studio intentionally offering Jeremy Renner less money to try to get him not to do the show so they don't have to shoot the show. Let us know in the comments down below.
Okay, so I'm going to, from my side, my portion of the podcast, I'm going to wrap it up with a quick basketball review. What's going on right now?
Oh yeah.
So as of last night, the Indiana Pacers have eliminated the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Oh.
Indiana won 114 and 105. Indiana won 4 games to 1. Cleveland had a lot of injuries. Darius Garland was hurt. Evan Mobley was hurt. Donovan Mitchell got hurt in game 4. He was coming out of halftime, warming up. It was just about to take a jumper, and he's just like reached for his ankle. Um,
Yeah.
he had a tremendous series. He was dropping 40s. He had 40-point games, but it wasn't enough. Tyrese Halliburton was on fire last night. He finished with 31. He had some deep, deep 3-pointers that were just splashing, nothing but net. So Indiana is now going to the Eastern Conference Finals. They are
Quick
waiting to
question.
see. Yeah,
Do you think Tyler Bird is going to become? Is he a superstar yet, or is he still just a
I
star on the way to being a superstar?
I believe Halliburton he's an all-star for sure.
Okay.
Superstar, I'm not quite ready yet to give him that.
Okay.
Uh, in this Cleveland series, there was a lot of chants from the fans in Cleveland, and even during Milwaukee, the chants of overrated because a poll came out. They did a poll with NBA players, and he was at the top of the list by NBA players who NBA players felt was overrated. So he's
Oh
he's playing
wow.
he's playing with a chip on his shoulder, and playing with like he has a point to prove. Uh, I would say, yeah, I'm not quite yet ready to go to a superstar label yet. We'll see
Okay.
how these playoffs finish out.
Okay.
But
So if
there,
he, do you think if he makes it to the finals, he can start? He can at least lose that being that overrated uh vote. Do you think he'll lose that and start moving towards superstar?
if he carries this Indiana team in the Eastern Conference Finals and get them to the finals, and he's having like big numbers, like scoring, rebound, assists, then
Mm,
yes. But if he's like scoring like 15, 17, if he's averaging under 20, 25, I just I just don't see how he gets that superstar label.
okay, understandable.
The
How much
superstar,
have you been average in these playoffs so far?
uh, I'm not truly sure how much he's been I think it's not that much. Like last night was the first game, like he just really went off scoring because
Okay, okay.
he's more of a facilitated type player. He
Gotcha.
facilitates and get his teammates involved. He can score, but that's not really not saying that he can't score. He can put up the numbers, but he's more of a I'm gonna let my guys, get
So
them
would you say
involved.
he's a more number two, number three, not a number one option?
Uh, on this on this team, he's the number one option. But
Okay,
yeah, on this Indiana team, he's definitely number one option.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So yes, they are waiting to see who's going to win between the New York Knicks and the Boston Celtics. Many people would have thought that series would have ended tonight. But breaking news: Boston beat the New York Knicks. The score 127 to 102. The Celtics finally got a lead and finally kept it because they've been blowing 20-point lead. They've been blowing 20-point leads left and right.
Yeah.
The crazy thing is, so this was game five. So game four in New York, it was a close game, and Jason Tatum ruptured his Achilles. So he is
Yeah.
done. So many thought like this next game be over, like no Jason Tatum. It's a wrap. It's a wrap for Boston,
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
they won by 25. Uh,
Oh wow.
yeah, very very surprised because I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't even watching this game. I was like New York is gonna win. Like I just completely wrote Boston off. I was like,
Exactly.
no Tatum, they will lose. But Derek White went off. He had 34 points. Uh,
Jesus.
Jalen Brown had 26. Drew Holiday chipped in with 14. And Al Horford had 12. And Peyton Pritchard, who's the little guard off the bench, scored 17.
Oh wow.
So, yeah. And then Carl Anthony Towns had 19. Brunson, I mean, this guy, he only had 22. And when I say only, because he's been dropping like 30. Josh Hart
Yeah.
had 24. So I think this is what cost him. Mikael Bridges, who's come up big, he only had 9 points. He played 40 minutes. He only had 9 points.
Mm.
OG Evanoli only had six. So they didn't get a whole lot scoring. So
So the series is what 3-2 now?
3-2, the Knicks leading.
Okay.
That
Was
is
this
crazy.
was this in Boston? This last game?
This Yes, this was in Boston, so they're
Okay.
going back to New York.
Do you think the Knicks want to just win in New York, or do
I
you
don't think
think?
I don't you don't play around like that.
Yeah, I
I
guess so.
You don't play around like that.
I guess
But I
so, because that's how you can lose it.
because that last game the Knicks won, the fans was just ecstatic. Like
Yeah.
they cheering like they already won the championship. Then I saw a video earlier today when two guys was talking. He was like, "Yeah, New York is a lot better when the Knicks are winning." They're like, crime rate is down right now. Like, why would I want to go out there and shoot somebody when the Knicks is winning? Like, why would I want to do that? New York is in a better place when the Knicks are winning. So, but I mean, the Knicks, unfortunately, they are known for blowing leads, serious leads. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
so this. But I'm losing tonight by 25. This might have some Knicks fans a little nervous, but we'll
True.
we'll, we'll see what
True.
happens in the next
True.
game. Let's see, what's today? Wednesday. I would guess they would probably play again either Friday or Saturday. Their next
Okay.
game. I don't have it up in front of me right now. Um, Last night, Oklahoma beat the Denver Nuggets. Jokic had whew, he had himself a game. Jokic had 44 points and 15 rebounds last night.
Dang.
Uh, yeah, and let's see, what's Shea? Shea had 31. So
Okay.
see, see, these are two players I call superstars, SGA and
Yeah.
especially Jokic. They
Yeah.
carry their team. Like SGA has a lot of talent on his team, but he's clearly the leader and he carries that team. SGA had 31 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists last night. And then Jokic had 44 points, 5 assists, and 15 rebounds. So
Mm.
that's Oklahoma is up 3-2, and that's serious. Um, I'm gonna have to get back and see where these next games are. It's not in front of me right now, and they're right
What is
next.
your prediction in that series?
Well, so far my prediction can still happen. I said I had OKC and Boston in the finals. This is
Yeah,
what I
I
originally
think
said at
that's
the
what you
beginning of the
said.
playoffs.
Yeah.
Um, OKC is leading 3 games to 2, uh, and Boston is down by a game in the series, so it still can happen. I don't think it will,
Yeah.
but it
Yeah.
still can happen. Um, and then right now, you got Minnesota is playing Golden State. That score is
Oh
currently
yeah.
36-29 with Minnesota winning. Um, we were doing the podcast when the game started. I'm looking at the stat sheet. I had Steph Curry. I don't. Steph Curry's not playing this game either.
Oh
So
really?
Minnesota is up 3 games to 1. So Minnesota need to put them away tonight. I
Yeah.
think
Like, is Steph
I
hurt, or is he just?
hamstring in the first game.
Uh,
So
uh,
Minnesota, they need to win tonight. Put them away. Don't give Golden State any hope. Don't give Steph Curry any more time to come back because that guy is a certified superstar, a sniper. Um,
yeah.
so they should. I I know at the beginning, like we just said, I said Oklahoma and Boston in the finals, but I would love for Minnesota to make the finals because I'm a big Anthony Edwards fan.
Mm,
Uh,
mm.
let me let me see when
So
these game.
I seen something post on Facebook. Yeah, I still use Facebook from time to time. Family stuff. Family be on there. I'll be checking on family, see how they doing. Uh, but I seen someone post saying that the NBA might need to shorten their season and give more breaks during playoffs because these guys keep getting hurt down the road. What do you think about that?
Uh, well, I love basketball, so I love that there's all these games on TV. Uh, I'm gonna sound like a I'm gonna sound like an unk and an old man when I say this, but they need to work out more in the whole season, man. Stripping up, like I guess injuries are part of the games. I'm like, it is crazy. We having all these players with ACL injuries and Achilles
Hmm.
rupture. Some people would say it's because of the type of shoes that they play in now, because everyone plays in low tops. I am guilty of that as well. Hell,
Mm.
one of my I play in my Kobe Halos, and I play those are low tops, and I play in them untied because I mean, right? They stay on my feet for one. Two, I use it as another mental distraction because if I'm scoring on you and then you look at my shoes and see they're not tied, You like, hold on, this motherfucker is doing this and he ain't got his shoes tied. This, I've I've had this happen. Like when I was playing the city league, they're like, "Yo, shoes ain't tied." I'm like, "No, I don't need to. I don't need to tie them up. I'm good." Like I've had that at like the YMCA. I've got called disrespectful many of times when I play them shoes to play ball in and they're not tied up. I'm like, I don't need to. I got this. But yes, some people would say it's because of low top shoes they're playing in, because how long the NBA season is as well. Um, but yeah, I don't know what would fix it. I don't know
Okay.
if it's the games or if these players, if they're like not working out as much as the older
Mm-hmm.
guys. I don't know.
Okay.
But me as a basketball fan, I love all these games, but I'm sure there will be something that they will look into. Maybe shorten it by like 10 games or so. So 82 games is it's a long season. You're playing, let's say you make it to the finals, right? You're playing from the middle of October until June. That's a long season. That's a lot of basketball.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that is a lot of basketball. That is definitely something they're gonna have to look into. Speaking of looking into, we're gonna look
oh no,
up. Up.
no,
Oh,
wait,
dang it! I had
no, no,
a
no, 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 wait. So I told you I was gonna give you a schedule.
Yeah, you
So
did. You did. My bad.
OKC and Denver plays tomorrow night at 7:30 on ESPN, and Boston and New York will play Friday at 7 on ESPN.
Okay.
So okay, so
Okay.
look forward and up to these look forward to these upcoming games.
So as we keep looking forward and up to these upcoming games, we're gonna look up, and we're gonna talk about the new Superman trailer. Yeah, it's a trailer number 2 for Superman. Um, this movie is coming soon in July. Is gonna be here, uh, and we got a new trailer. I watched the trailer. I didn't do a live reaction to this trailer. I was thinking about it, and I just didn't have time today. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Um, but I watched the trailer, and I can't lie to you. I'm a little more excited for the Superman. The trailer was really good. It was a really good trailer. It didn't give a lot away. I don't think. I still you can kind of still piece the movie together, but that happens with any trailer. Only ones that do it very well is Marvel because they put stuff in the trailer that's never going to be in the movie, so that confuses you in itself, which is a kind of a cheat. But this trailer was really good. So we started out with Lois and Clark, aka Superman, talking, and she's like, "Are you going to let me interview Superman?" He's like, "Yeah, you can interview Superman." So she clearly knows who Superman is. Um, and it's one of the things I haven't seen a lot of other Superman movies talk about, and it's him stopping a war. And they're not upset that he stopped a war. They're like, was it okay for you to do that, and who you're doing that under, whose banner? Like, did the president tell you to do that? And he's like, no, I did it myself, but it should never be wrong for me to go save people. And that's what you really need in a Superman movie. It's not about him if he can save people. It's about if he should save people, and does he have the right to save people in the way he does save them. Like, they were like, you went to a whole nother country to stop this war, and they were like, well, trying to stop people from fighting, which is Superman wants peace 100%. So in this trailer you get that. So that's going to be a question to be asked, and we're going to see how they're going to dive into that and the politics of that they're going to have, and we're going to see how that's part of, like, I think how they arrest Superman. And when the trailer, when they said, did you ask the president, they had a shot of Lex Luthor. So I don't know if Lex Luthor is the president in this, or if he's running for president, or what's going on at this time. Because I know in the comic books Lex Luthor does become the president at one point in time, which is crazy. That's I don't know how that happens, but then again, Trump. So like that's crazy. But this trailer also shows a little more of um Mr. Terrific. We see a little more of Mr. Terrific, him moving around. We see Hawk Girl. We see her a little quickly. We see the other Green Lantern, Guy Gardner as Green Lantern. But we also see a lot more of the bad guys and Superman fighting the bad guys. We see the one lady. She's the engineer. I guess she has metallic powers to shapeshift her arms into saws or something like that. I'm not really clear on her character because I don't know her from the comic books, so I got to read up on her a little bit. But she's fighting Superman, and the fights look pretty decent. Looked pretty decent. We see Superman dealing with the consequences of his actions, of who he chooses to save, how he does it, but also just trying to be a good person. Like you see Superman's dad, and I believe it was his mom. I believe it was his mom. They didn't say her name, so they learned from Batman versus Superman. Just don't say Martha. But you see his dad, and they have this touching moment where he's like, um, "What makes you the person you are the things that you do. That makes you who the person you are." And he hugs him. The hug was a little weird. It felt a little forced. It looked like you hugged somebody you never met before. It was weird. They probably should have shot that again, but that's just me. Um, but yeah, it and we see there's this new character I think they made specifically for the movie. There's this guy in this like gold looking suit with an axe. I seen he has an action figure because they showed the action figures for this movie. They've already released those, and you see this gold suited guy with this axe. He has an action figure. We see him in the movie. He looks like he's flying. I thought it was Lex Luthor's suit, but I don't think it is unless they redesigned it in any way. So here's a prediction. I don't think it's the suit. I think it's a whole different person, but it could be the suit. But you see there. We see Lex Luthor's kind of not bodyguards, but henchmen. They have this whole kind of suit, and they're coming to get Superman when they have him. We have Ultraman there. Like I said, Ultraman might be a clone of Superman that Lex made, or Ultraman also might be a white Martian. I don't remember seeing a white Martian in this trailer, but I could have missed it. I only watched it like twice. I didn't do a like stop and look at stuff, so piecing together what I saw. Um, we see Superman fight this giant kaiju. We get a closer up on the kaiju, and that looks like a crazy cool fight. 100% down for that. But it feels a lot more. It is very much different than the ODC with Zack Snyder and felt dark. This feels more light, fluffy, vibrant, more comic book vibrant. Like it's not dark and gritty. It's bright and fun, which that's what DC can be. Yes, you can have your dark moments in DC. You 100% do. But there's still bright moments too, and they seem like they're focusing on that more. Um, Lois didn't know Superman had a dog, so we have a moment where she's like, "You have a dog." So we see Crypto. I think Crypto was fighting with somebody. I remember him jumping around. I think Crypto was with um, Mr. Terrific for a little bit. Yeah, I think they were jumping around. But they say that this Superman is gonna kind of hover around the four main superheroes in this movie, which would be Superman, Mr. Terrific, Green Lantern, and Hawk Girl. They're gonna kind of be the main staple in this, which is I'm still worried about that because this is supposed to be a Superman movie. You're throwing a lot of different characters in there, and that could be good or bad the way it goes. This trailer has me excited to go see the movie. I'm not gonna lie. I can't lie and say I'm not excited, but I am worried. I'm worried there's too many people, too many characters, too much stuff going on. Even for a 2.5 hour movie, I think it might be too much stuff going on. And you're gonna get to the point where you're like, hey, this could have ended 10 minutes ago, or you could have took out that 30-minute part because we didn't need that, unfortunately. We also see Superman super robots get beat up. Lex Luthor goes into the Fortress of Solitude and Engineer takes out his robot, so he cuts him in half. So that's going to be a sad moment. I think most people have seen the picture of Superman holding the robots after it's been decapitated or cut in half. So he has a moment with the robots. But overall, this looks good. It looks good. I'm normally not. I'm not a big Superman fan. I think he's a cool hero. He's super powerful. His stories never always hit me. I never really held on to his stories in moments with him. I love him in the Justice League, but solo it wasn't like Superman. But this it's got me kind of trying to be a Superman fan a little bit. Um, very interested, very excited for it. Um, I didn't see any Supergirl in there, so if there was a Supergirl in there, I missed it. I might have to go watch it again. I think they might save that. Um, but being a second trailer, I think they. I don't want them to put out another trailer, but I think they are, and I think that trailer is going to ruin a lot more of the movie, unfortunately. But I'm going to watch it because we do this podcast, and I have to watch it so I can talk to you guys about it. But if this is their final trailer, which it should be, I think they should good. Just play this trailer for the next 2 months until the movie shows out. Do like little snapshots and stuff, but hold some of that stuff close to your chest so you guys have some good stuff in the movie. Um, don't show your whole movie before we go see the movie, unfortunately. But yeah. But secondly, if Superman doesn't do good, it's gonna have a ripple effect for everything else. Because right after Superman, I think the next movie is supposed to be Supergirl or Superwoman or Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. That's supposed to be the next one. So if this doesn't do good, it's gonna be hard to structure the rest of your DC because this is your tentpole superhero. It's your tentpole movie as well. So I'm a little worried for them. I want DC to get it together. You guys have great characters. You have amazing stories. You just can't do it in live action for some reason. Get it together. Figure it out. Um, yeah. So let me know in the comments how are you guys feeling about the Superman trailer. Trailer number 2. Are you excited for it? Are you not excited for it? Does this make you more excited for the movie? Make you more worried about the movie? Did you see some of the characters you're hoping to see? Oh, we saw the what's his name? Multiman or something like that. You seen him in a little bit of scene doing a little bit of his superpowers, his melding different metals or something like that. I forget his set powers. He's got some chemical that made him be able to use multiple different elements or something like that. Is it Element Man? No, it's not Element Man. But we seen him for a second. Like he still looks good. From the still shot we saw him, he's comics accurate, and that's pretty cool. But yeah, let us know in the comments what do you think about this. Any questions about Superman, Marcus? The Superman 2 trailer? Does it make you any bit of excited to try to see it, or even see it when it comes out on video? So I know you're not gonna go to the movies to see it.
Definitely.
Oh, but also because this is the last story of the day, before we cut out, James Gunn announced he's working on a new script for an unannounced DC movie, which I don't know if he should have did that. He's got another unannounced DC movie script he's working on. I need DC to focus. Focus. It seemed like it's just scattered everywhere. Like we're not sure if we're getting Batman. We're not sure who's going to be Batman. Robert Pattinson is supposed to be Batman, but is getting pushed back so far. We don't know what's going on with that. You've canceled Sergeant Rock. Uh, you do have Peacemaker coming out. We have the trailer for Peacemaker, which Green Lantern and Hawkgirl was in the trailer for Peacemaker. So they're making sure that universe is combined. But they also did this thing at the end of the trailer where Peacemaker is holding a gun to Peacemaker after he goes through this portal door. So multi dimensions, what's going on there? But the Peacemaker trailer looked interesting. The whole crew is back except the one guy that was a spoilers for Peacemaker if you didn't watch it. He was one of the aliens. Everybody else is back. Um, Peacemaker's trying to become, I guess, a Justice League at this point because the Justice League does exist in that universe, but also it doesn't because now Green Lantern and Hawkgirl exist in that universe. It's weird, but we get all the regular Peacemaker characters back, and Peacemaker's a hero now. He's a bona fide hero. So we pick up with him stopping the invasion, and we continue on in his life and see what else he gets into. Um, he has Rick Flag dad. Rick Flag Senior is going to be in Peacemaker, and he's running. I don't know the DC organization that's in it. He's running it. He's a leader of it, and he's overseeing the Peacemaker guys, their group, their gang. So he's kind of getting vengeance because Peacemaker did kill Rick Flag's son in the Suicide Squad movie. So he might be trying to get revenge. So that's going to be interesting. And what's the name is reprising his role from the Creature Commandos animated show. He voiced Rick Flag Sr. in that, and he's playing Rick Flag live action in this. So that's going to be interesting. We'll see what happens with that. But yeah, let us know in the comments. Did you see the Peacemaker trailer? Are you excited for Peacemaker 2? Peacemaker season 1 was pretty good. It was pretty good. 2, I have lower expectations. I don't think it's going to be good as 1. So let us know in the comments. Are you excited for that? But that is the show. That is episode of Sports and Superheroes, episode 19. I didn't realize we're about to hit 20. About to hit 20 episodes. Appreciate you guys for listening, checking out the podcast, listening to the podcast, share the podcast, support the podcast, like the podcast, all those good things. Appreciate it so much. All our links for our social medias are in the description down below. Hit those. Definitely hit that subscribe button. It's free, so it doesn't cost you a thing. Just click that button. Boom, you're subscribed. Also, if you would like to leave us a voice message, we have a link in the description down below to click on to leave us a voice message. It's only going to be a minute long, so just a minute. Get it out quick, but don't give us no weird shit. Just superhero questions or sports questions, maybe some life questions, but no weird shit. All right, we'll be gladly to answer those when we get a chance. But thank you guys for watching. Appreciate all the love and support, and we'll see you guys on the next episode.
Peace.